Hey everybody, Jason Blaha here. All right, today I'd like to talk to you about bench pressing in your chest. Hold on, let me give you guys a couple poses first. And a bicep shot. All right, now back to the matter at hand. All right, I get asked a lot at the gym by a lot of the younger guys what I do for my chest. Because one thing I've noticed, particularly in the UK, since I've moved here, is that a lot of British guys who work out regularly. They tend to have just piss poor chest development. They have no thickness, no size to their chest or their pecs in general. And again, I've got pretty good chest development. And so again, they tend to ask me, what I do for my chest. And when I tell them that I bench press is my primary my primary chest builder, a lot of them are kind of shocked and they're like, well, what else do you do? And again, recently while I've been cutting, I've started adding some incline dumbbell work and occasionally some flies. But for the most part, while I've been regaining size this year after spending all of my time sick and away from being able to train for years, I've generally used the bench press as my primary mass builder for chest. And there have been periods of time, in the last year to where the only thing I was doing for chest was bench press and, standing overhead presses. And so again, a lot of guys say, well, I can't build my chest off bench pressing. And while not everyone has this chest genetics I have, and their chest may not grow as easily as mine. As a general rule, um, if you cannot grow your chest and can't develop at least a decent chest off the bench press, you just don't know how to fucking bench. As Dave Tate put it, you don't know how to fucking bench. And so again, I'd like to cover some of the things I see going wrong with people's bench press technique as far as trying to gain pec mass and just overall chest size. And again, obviously, one of the biggest issues is that you see a lot of drug-free guys trying to do body part splits with direct chest work only once a week, and then on top of that, even if they do their shoulders a different day, which should stimulate their upper chest, they don't do that correctly either, and they tend to just do half rep dumbbell presses for their shoulders, and ultimately they get no upper chest either. So again, the low frequency is a problem. And some of the other things I see is that guys are concerned with just moving as much weight as they can rather than really actually trying to bench press correctly or use the full range of motion. And I see a lot of problems. One of the big issues I see, first off, with a lot of the guys here, what I notice is that not only do they bench with their elbows flared way out wide, which is unacceptable, puts stress on the shoulder joints and more onto the anterior delt and pulls it away from the pec. There's actually a safety issue. In fact, your shoulders should be no more than 45, or your elbows should be no more than 45 degrees from your shoulders. But one of the things that I see them doing on top of that, so they've got their elbows flared out wide, and then they do half reps. So, I mean, actually, their bench press looks like this. And they do just the top half of the movement, or a lot of them, even if they bring it down to a lower position where they should, and the elbows are tucked a little more, and they bring it low, they still stop a couple inches short of their chest, or they just completely bounce it off the chest. And again, these are just completely unacceptable. The things that you have to do if you're really focused on building your chest off of the bench press, the things you need to do are, again, keep those elbows tucked in at around 45 degrees or closer to the body. You need to make sure that you're bringing the chest down, or the bar down low on your chest, below the nipple line. Hold on, I'm getting hungry and this chicken smells good. Let me take a bite of my fried chicken here. All right. Sorry about that. But, is again, keeping the arms down, keeping the shoulders down, keeping the scapula completely retracted. If you're trying to properly stretch and contract the pecs, your shoulder blades should be completely together through the entire set. And what you need to do is come down and touch the chest and then pause on the chest for a 1 count and then drive it up while keeping the shoulder blades together. So you get a stretch, pause on the chest, and drive it up. And you may not even need to lock it all the way out, because sometimes when you lock at the very end, your scapula come back apart and you pull stress off of the pecs and put it back onto the anterior deltoids more. So again, that's something that needs to be considered. And then on top of that, again, if you're doing pressing for your shoulders, which you should be doing some presses for shoulders, Again, if you're trying to develop your chest and just overall development, you need to be using a barbell anyways, so that you can get a further range of motion. And what you find is that, again, on your military presses, whether you're doing them as a strict standing press or a push press with leg drive, you need to bring the barbell all the way down. You need to be touching the chest. So you need to come all the way down, touch your chest for just a pause, and then drive up. And keep the elbows tucked in tight and drive up. And again, if you're coming all the way down and touching your chest with the barbell, you're actually recruiting a lot of fibers in your upper chest. And so again, for anybody who's really struggling with chest development, they're considering changing to dumbbells, and they have just minimal chest development. Rather than switch to dumbbells if it's unnecessary. And again, dumbbells have their uses, but I think for most guys building a foundation, dumbbell presses for chest are unnecessary, and I don't think they allow for the same degree of total overload and overall hypertrophy through your body that barbell work does. So again, if you're bench pressing 3 times a week and standing pressing at least twice a week, and you're doing them in the way that I described, with your shoulder blades back on the bench, elbows tucked in tight, pausing off the chest while keeping your scapula completely retracted, and and again, keeping them retracted through the entire rep, and keeping your chest tight. And then on your standing presses, if you're coming all the way down and touching your chest, and then keeping those elbows tucked in and not flared, and you're doing them at that frequency, and you're going heavy, and again, having progressive overload, I can absolutely assure you that if you have failed in the past to build your chest with the barbell bench press, that these 2 movements done at this type of frequency and done in this manner will start to pump your chest up. You will start bringing up your lagging chest. Because again, generally what you see is that if guys can't build their chest off of bench press, they just don't know how to bench. And again, this is time proven. I mean, people have been using the bench press to build huge, thick, full pecs, and in addition to the standing press to do it together. I mean, since the 50s and 60s. I mean, we saw bodybuilders even back then doing this as their primary movements, and including things like weighted dips and things as well. They're using these as their primary movements and building full, well-developed chest. So again, the issue there is generally not the lift in the bench press that's the blame. It's people's poor execution of this, poor execution of the lifts that's the problem. And that's all I have on that topic. And I'll talk to you guys next time. We'll do your bicep shot first. All right. Talk to you guys later.